In the modern era of firearms ownership, selecting the right holster is just as critical as selecting the right firearm. The choice of holster can directly impact your speed, safety, and overall effectiveness in the field. But as of recently, I've been using this holster for one of my reviews, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. This isn't going to be a straight comparison between the Tier 1 MSP holster and the Safariland holster, but rather discussing the practicality of these platforms and where they sit on the consumer market. While both products are highly regarded, their strengths cater to very different needs. Now you might be asking, what sparked this video? A couple of weeks ago, I decided that in conjunction with my educational, philosophical, and training content, I wanted to incorporate some gear reviews, just so I could talk about products that interest me and hopefully interest you. And certain types of gear, like firearms, require some supporting pieces, main one being a holster. So after a lot of consideration, I found that getting a universal holster would be the best option for me financially, because I simply do not have the money to buy a new holster for every single gun I may want to test and shoot. Fast forwarding through the extensive research phase, I ultimately decided to go with the Tier1Concealed MSP holster. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of what I think about this holster, I want to talk about the company that manufactures this holster first, just so you have some background information on this product. Tier1Concealed is a company that has rapidly made a name for themselves in the world of everyday carry and training. Their designs are shaped with input from respected firearms instructors and reflect a clear emphasis on real-world concealment-based applications. They have built their reputation on producing holsters that are functional, comfortable, and modular, especially for users who prefer appendix carry or those running modern pistol setups with optics and weapon-mounted lights. Now, I want you guys to know that I run Tier 1 holsters as a part of my EDC, and this is because the quality and the fit of these holsters are definitely top tier in my opinion. I've had zero issues with any of them. The only thing I wish they could improve on is their lead time. I personally don't have any manufacturing experience, and I'm sure there's a reason why the lead times are the way they are. But if they could find a way to lower those lead times just a bit more, then I think they would dominate the carry holster game more than they already are. But moving back over to this holster, Tier1Concealed teamed up with Scott Jedlinski of Modern Samurai Project to develop the MSP holster that you see right here. This partnership focused on creating a versatile system that functions off the weapon-mounted light rather than the firearm itself. At its core, the Tier1Concealed MSP holster is a universal OWB holster that indexes off of a weapon-mounted light such as the Surefire X300 or the Streamlight TLR-1HL. Rather than being molded for a specific firearm, the MSP relies on the consistent dimensions of the light body to provide retention. This design means that as long as multiple pistols share the same light model, they can all be carried securely in the same holster. And as you just saw, I just put my MMP 2.0 into this holster because I attached the X300. But I want to show you a few other models that can fit inside this holster. Here we have my MMP 2.0 5-inch. And as you can see, the retention is just as it was with the 4¼ inch because it's optimizing its molding to the X300. So you can carry the 4¼ inch and the 5-inch pretty easily in this holster. Lastly, we have something that's a little bit bigger. This is the Kimber 2K11 stainless steel. I have a review coming out for this in the next couple of weeks, so keep a lookout for that if you're interested in this firearm. But as you can see, even with something as big as a 2011 style pistol, it fits just as snug and as easily in this holster. But while we're on the topic of modularity, I do want to point out that the Safariland holsters are a bit more modular than some people realize. By contrast, the Safariland holsters, particularly the models like 6360 RDS or the 6390 RDS, are a fully dedicated high retention holster for a specific firearm and light combination. But if you're looking to get one of these holsters for a gun like the MMP 4¼ inch that's also light bearing, it might be wise to go with the 5-inch variant of this holster. This is because if you get the 5-inch version, you'll be able to fit the 4¼ inch just as easily. And because of the style of retention this holster uses, you can actually run it without a weapon-mounted light. This gives you a bit more flexibility and will allow you to run multiple guns from the same manufacturer in one holster. This holster features multiple layers of retention, typically combining the ALS mechanism with the SLS rotating hood. Some models also include passive friction locks or hood guards for even greater security. Each Safariland holster is designed with an exact tolerance for a specific handgun, light, and optic configuration. But just to be clear, Tier 1 also offers specifically molded holsters for firearms. But for the sake of this video, video, we're just talking about their MSP line and its practicality. So the most significant difference between these two OWB holsters lies in their approach to retention. The Tier 1 MSP uses light body friction retention only, which works well for range work and training. But when would it be more suitable over something like the Safariland? Due to its universal nature, you have to understand that this is not going to be a tight fit holster. The retention is great for only using the weapon mounted light as a friction point. But since they wanted to make sure a large variety of handguns could fit in this opening of this holster, you'll find that there will be a little bit of play even when the gun is fully seated. Now, is this a big deal? Honestly, no. I've run this gun in PCSL 2-gun matches and I've had zero issues. These matches require movement, and you are going to want a holster that can handle explosive shifts of motion when holding your hot weapon. So I found the MSP to be more than adequate for competition use. Also, another added benefit is that there's only one level of retention, so no pushing buttons or pulling levers when drawing, which inevitably can give you a faster draw considering your level of training. What happens if you're interested in doing more movements that aren't just lateral? Perhaps you want to do something that's a bit more demanding. 2 months ago, I participated in a running gun over in Dawsonville, and this style of competition required me to cross over some less than ideal terrain. These scenarios introduce obstructions or opportunities for limbs or foreign objects to hit or rub against my firearm and holster. I can fully admit that if I was running the MSP holster, that my gun would probably have been knocked out of my holster multiple times, and this would have resulted in me getting disqualified. So for that match, I had to find a different holster that had a higher retention level. Funny enough, I actually ended up going to get another Tier 1 holster that worked just fine for what I needed it to do. But now that I've reflected on the match and how everything went down, a Safariland holster would have been a better option due to them being more purpose-built for demanding circumstances. The ALS system automatically locks the firearm into place when holstered, and the SLS hood must be manually rotated to clear the weapon from the draw. These mechanisms, when combined, can create an intuitive but secure draw stroke that can withstand physical abuse, weapon grabs, and high movement scenarios. Although this retention system introduces a steeper learning curve, it dramatically increases security, making it the preferred choice for participating in more rigorous physical activities such as the tactical games, brute strength matches, or like I previously mentioned, running guns. So who are these holsters for? If you're someone that really enjoys trying different guns or likes to train with a variety of guns, then the MSP holster would be a smart choice. It holds the same quality as the rest of the Tier 1's product line, and it's rugged enough for what most people will be doing at the range. But if you're someone that tends to stick to 1 or even 2 platforms, and you want a system that can take all the abuse, then acquiring a Safariland holster should be something to consider. Choosing the right holster requires more than comparing materials or brand names. It demands a clear understanding of mission, environment, and personal needs. Each holster shines in its respective domain, and many advanced users may find value in owning both. Some may employ the MSP for training and casual usage, while others will employ the Safariland for duty or more mission-specific work. As firearms ownership and carry methods evolve, the tools we use must also match our intent. But these two holsters represent two different but equally important sides of that equation. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.